So our discussion for today will be about Chelsea and their chances of making a top 4 finish before the season comes to an end. So, as we all know, Chelsea have been making some major signings in the transfer window this January before it was closed. We saw them making the biggest deal of their history, which is signing Enzo Fernandez from Benfica, which is a massive one for them. But talking about Enzo Fernandez, there's still some doubts about his ability to be able to quickly adapt to the Premier League level of football, as we have seen in so many players. Which example we have Liverpool, Darwin Núñez, who also came from the same Benfica, but he has been unable to adapt quickly to the pressure and the way the Premier League is being played. Then back to Chelsea. Their chances of making a top 4 finish this season is actually still good, with a lot of games still at hand for them to play. But they will have to try to make at least a winning run of like 10 to 15 games if they can be able to make a top 4 finish, as the task won't be an easy one for them. But with the major signings that they have made in this transfer window 2023, they actually do stand a chance of making a top 4 finish if they can play as a team and collectively with each other. Although it won't be that easy, but we know what Chelsea are made of. They have shown that too many times with different managers. But another problem still remains: can Graham Potter actually make this team play the way other Chelsea managers have? The question still remains. Under Frank Lampard's tenure, Chelsea also showed that kind of strong willing spirit, which saw them, despite not making any major signings, they were able to finish top 4 under a manager who barely have much experience. The only experience he had was coaching Derby County, which was a championship team. But he came to Chelsea and was able to help them finish top 4 and guide them to an FA Cup final, which they eventually lost to Arsenal. But eventually, he was sacked the following season, which Mauricio Sarri was brought in, and that was a big mistake from them, as the manager could barely make anything happen. Which in the same season, Manchester City thrashed Chelsea 6-0, which was their biggest defeat in history. Although the Italian didn't last long, as he was sacked. He brought in Thomas Tuchel, who took over and was able to make a huge difference. No, Thomas Tuchel came in for Frank Lampard, I think. No. Well, but Thomas Tuchel taking over Chelsea was a blessing, which was actually after Frank Lampard was sacked. Then Thomas Tuchel took over to make things right. Because I can clearly remember that after Frank Lampard's sack, Frank Lampard was sacked during the time he made the signing of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and some other players who, unfortunately, he couldn't navigate everything as they were. It was as if he had the kind of players that he can't control or put them in the right position to play. But that eventually led to his sacking, which Thomas Tuchel took over at the middle of the season. Chelsea continued and went on that season winning the Champions League. and also, but failing to win the cup title. The following season was another good one, but they had to lose against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup and the Emirates FA Cup, which wasn't a good one for the both times as they lost on penalties. But that aside, we come back to the question that still remains till today. Can Chelsea actually make top 4 in this 2002, 2020, 2022, 2023 season? Can they actually make the top 4 finish? The question still remains a big doubt. Currently, Chelsea are placed number 6 on the table with just 38 points or 30 something point, I think. So they are hoping they can make a top 4 finish as they lie in the 10th place. Liverpool above them with just goal difference. Chelsea have a struggling under Graham Potter, and they are fighting to hope that they can make a top 4 finish this season, which is what many fans expect of them to make happen, at least if they are not going to win the league title. And also they are also out of the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and the race to win the Premier League is far gone away from them. So there is no way for them to catch up or meet up with the likes of Arsenal and Manchester City. The likes of Arsenal and Manchester City, who are currently number 1 and 2 on the table. But the only hope they have right now, is to make sure that they are able to make a top 4 finish to enable them to secure a Champions League play next season, as failing to qualify for the UEFA Champions League might cause them losing some players who are already not happy with the team. Example, Kai Havertz is being linked with a move to Bayern Munich, which is possible from any sense that if Chelsea fail to make the UEFA Champions League, he could be making that move to Bayern Munich as quickly as possible. Then when you talk of other players, for now I don't think there is any other players that could be leaving if Chelsea did not make Champions League football. But the only player that is expected to leave, which is Jorginho, he has actually been sold to Arsenal, which is also another good deal for Chelsea, who could make as much as 15 to 17 million off his transfer to Arsenal. With that being said, Enzo Fernandez is coming in to replace him, and with the kind of amounts of money that the new owners of Chelsea have invested in the team, they should be hoping for something good at the end of the season. Graham Potter now have everything to do, as all eyes will be on him to deliver. And Chelsea fans will be asking nothing less than a top 4 finish, despite their position right now on the league table. Well, it's possible to make happen. It's possible. At least if they can go up to 10 match unbeaten run with a minimum of 7 wins and draws, they could actually meet up. Even if they are not going to meet up with Manchester City or Arsenal, they will definitely meet up with either Manchester United or Newcastle United, who also occupied the 1 to 4 position, but it will be an easy task because other teams are also pushing to make that top 4, mostly Newcastle United, who are looking like a very comfortable team, and they are also doing well.